Hey there, thanks for checking out my channel. If you like it, I ask you to please subscribe and share it. I want to go over some recruiting and when to recruit employees, the pros and cons of hiring and firing and recruiting, and when you should recruit and when you should hire employees. Now, the first thing is you got to understand your business capacity and what is your capacity doing and what is it allowing you to do. So if you're at 100% capacity with the workforce that you have, does it make sense adding another employee to do that, to bring down that capacity? That really all depends on your industry and where you're at, and also your cash flow. So if we're at capacity, or we think we're at capacity, then it makes sense to bring on another employee. Let's say your employee you bring on is a $50,000 a year employee. What is it that you expect that employee to return to you for that $50,000? Now, that's one of the big things. Now, the cons of hiring and recruiting is that a lot of businesses do it because they think they're too busy. They think they don't have enough time in the day to do it. But most importantly, is they got to look back at their business and they have to understand, it might not be, I don't have time for it. It's just my business isn't structured correctly to maximize on the efficiencies of my employees. So I do a lot of recruiting for a lot of my business clients that I do. And we go into it's more than just hiring a recruiter or going in and posting a job. Because if I'm an employee and I'm a worker out there at X company, why do I want to leave this company and come to work for you? What is it that gives me the fuzzies to come work for you? Now, most people will move for $1 or $2 an hour, or they think that that's the case, but it's in actuality, that is not the case at all. Most people leave their current positions because of the culture of the business that they're in. They've been lied to, promises haven't been kept, they're stuck at a glass ceiling, they can't get over any further. And so when I do the recruiting, I have to come to my client and go, okay, what is it about your business, your culture, your atmosphere that will bring in X talent? Now, and then they want to go after, well, I have benefits is key, the future, another key, and the culture is key. So why would what is it about my business that would attract top tier talent to come work for me? And that's a very hard question to really answer yourself, because we have our blinders on, but you've got to really take that deep down, say, okay, this is why I can lure this guy from this company. And that's what your marketing is who you are as a business in recruiting. So when a recruiter or HR, whatever it is, going out and asking and interviewing, those employees, they really want to understand that as well. They want to know, hey, what is it about your company that's attracting me? Because I get it all the time. I have friends all the time that are getting recruited, constantly just being bombarded. And it's really 100% or 95% culture. No one's going to leave for $1 or $2 and go from here where they're at in the business and drop down and have to work back up for a couple bucks. Depending on the skill of the trade, that it would be there too, but your higher level performance is not going to do that. It just doesn't make sense. And it doesn't make sense as a business that if you're allowing your employees to walk out the door for $1 or $2 more an hour, you in the end are losing, because your onboarding cost, your hiring cost, your training cost, your advertising, all that stuff is way more than a $2 an hour raise. And so you really have to understand, where are we at in a business? Where's my capacity at? Does it make sense to bring on another employee? What is my ROI going to be for that employee? What am I expecting them to do? And do I have the culture and the atmosphere that an employee really wants to come work here? And I'm gonna tell you, if you have a turnover rate that's churning a lot of employees, nobody wants to come to work there, because I get asked all the time when I'm recruiting for my clients and asking these guys, they go, well, what's the turnover rate? How long are people staying there? Why are they leaving? What's the culture like? What is the ownership like? What's the management structure like? What are they, micromanagement? Do they have autonomy to do what they need to do? Do they believe in their employees? Is it employee centric or is it customer driven? All of those things kind of play into the recruiting model. And so it's more than just putting an ad on Indeed, ZipRecruiter, LinkedIn, or whatever you're doing and hoping that you get it and then blowing smoke up the guy's butt to say this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. They're going to find it out for themselves and they won't stay, and they're going to be upset that they didn't stay. So get all those things in line before you ever get out and get into the recruiting process. But again, make sure you have the capacity to bring on and the work, which the capacity is, what is our ceiling for our workflow now? What is our barriers? Do we have the capacity to add more? If we add more, what is it going to do to our business? Then it's going to also say, what's our culture? What's our management? What's our turnover? All that stuff. What's enticing to come work for me? And once you have all that laid out and you look at it and say, oh, I'd come to work here and this sounds good, then you can go off into the recruiting process. I hope this helped. If it did, please subscribe, like the channel, share it. Remember, smile, help somebody today, and make you feel better. Thanks.